So a few weeks before I was due to start my sports coaching apprenticeship in August 2012, I was involved in a very serious road traffic accident. I was leaving my friends one evening and I was going home, and I had a collision whilst on a motorbike with another car.
We were called to the scene by the paramedic and the technician who were on the scene with Dylan, dealing with Dylan on that night, and we were asked to attend because he was suffering from serious injuries. So we spoke to him at the scene, and with the information that we had been given by the attending clinicians, we attended.
My injuries were life-threatening, and the injuries included a compound fracture to my ankle, a large laceration to my groin, my stomach went through my diaphragm and ended up next to my lung. I had a double compound fracture to my left arm, resulting in removing a bone and replacing it with a bone in my leg. I had double break on my right arm, I had a bleed on the brain, and I had a piece of glass went through my neck, severing my trachea and esophagus.
I didn't think Dylan would survive his injuries. His injuries were so catastrophic at the scene, probably one of the worst that I've seen since being in the ambulance service, and I did think he was going to die probably that evening or the following day.
It was at night time when my accident happened, and at the time Wiltshire Air Ambulance were only one of two helicopters which could fly at night time.
Well, we knew very quickly that Dylan had suffered life-threatening injuries and he needed to be taken quickly to a major trauma centre, and where we were, the nearest major trauma centre was Oxford, and we knew we could get there within about 6 to 8 minutes. So we got to work very quickly in securing his airway, because that was our main concern with him. He had massive injuries to his neck area, so we needed to stem the bleeding and to secure his airway. Then we moved on then systematically to help secure his legs and his arms in a fashion where we knew that we were able to save him.
Wiltshire Air Ambulance airlifted me to the John Radcliffe Hospital in Oxford, where I immediately underwent a 12-hour operation. I was in the John Radcliffe Hospital for about 3 months in total. I underwent 8 major surgeries and about 50 hours of surgery in total. It was in intensive care about a week after I woke up, when I was speaking to my dad, and we were having a conversation about creating a challenge and starting our fundraising for Wiltshire Air Ambulance. He turned to me and said, "How about we run a half marathon?" This at the time was something I didn't even consider. The next stage of my recovery was walking again, let alone running. About 14 months after me and my dad had this conversation, a group of 70 close family and friends ended up running and all completing the Oxford Half Marathon. This was one of the most emotional days I've ever experienced, along with all my friends and family. And running over that finish line with a close group of friends and family was amazing, emotional, but really relieving at the same time. In the last 6 years, I've run a total of 10 half marathons now, all raising money for Wiltshire Air Ambulance. Throughout that time, as a team, we have raised around £100,000 for this amazing charity. Wiltshire Air Ambulance mean an awful lot to me, not just to me, but me, my family, and all my friends as well. If Wiltshire Air Ambulance hadn't attended to me that evening, I know I wouldn't be sat here today.
It's great to see Dylan again. It's been 6 years ago, and to see him walking through the door again to say thanks. And now he's getting married. He's got great family support with him. It's fantastic to know what we did that evening has made a massive benefit to Dylan. And like Dylan says, thank you very much for what you did to me. Yes, there was a massive team there that evening from Wiltshire Air Ambulance, but we wouldn't have been able to have done that if it wasn't for people donating the money for us.
There's highly skilled paramedics working on me on the roadside, and the speed of the helicopter and the time it took the helicopter from the accident to the hospital, all those 3 things combined is a major reason I'm still sat here today. Wiltshire Air Ambulance definitely saved my life that night.